but let's continue with our Diwali specials. And in fact, we still have Anuj with us. Let's go across to him for our Market Master show, where he has standing by two very special guests in for a conversation with him. Anuj, over to you.
Well, if at the start of December 2077 you had simply bought a Nifty ETF, you would have made 40% by now. And if you bought the mid-cap ETF, you would have made 70%. And of course, if you were a smart stock picker, you would have made any time between 2x to 10x of your money. But are we in for an encore, or is it time to be cautious as we start the new Samvat? Hello and welcome to this Samvat 2078 Market Master Special. I am Anuj Singhal. And ahead of the new year, what are the top investment bets? Joining me today are two of India's biggest market voices, Manish Chokhani, Director of Enam Holdings, and Ramdev Agarwal, Chairman and co-founder of Motilal Oswal Services. Gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining me on this special show. Ramdev, how are you feeling about the market as we start the new Samvat? It's been an extraordinary year. A lot of money has been made. As I was saying, the index itself is up 40%, and of course a lot of stocks have gone up even 4 or 5 times. A lot of retail money has come into the market. So as we step into the new Samvat, of course, first of all, season's greetings. How are you feeling about the market?
So Anuj, let me first wish you a very happy Diwali, very happy Dhanteras, and to all the viewers of CNBC TV18. A very, very prosperous new year. Now, this year has been a very defining year in a way that, apart from the general recovery and whatever has happened to the stock market, liquidity, interest rates and everything, but one of the most distinctive feature, maybe because I belong to this particular community, is the participation by retail. So let me give you some numbers. The number of account holders in 2007, it was 10 million accounts. Demat accounts were just about 10 million in 2007. It took 5 years to double to 20 million in 2012. And then in 2020, it became 40. So it took another 8 years, so about 9% compounded. Then from 20 March, I'm saying, there was 40 million. Now, 21 became 55 million in last 12 months. And now in September of 21, it has crossed 70 million. So from 40 to 70 has happened in 1.5 years. And we are growing at the rate of, the highest addition has been in September 21 of 2.8 million accounts. So what I'm saying is this is a structural shift in the market, and we must not ignore this. When the policymakers should not ignore this. It is extremely powerful, and it is going to have very long-term repercussions in the markets and more importantly in the economy, if it is harnessed well.
Okay, if it's harnessed well, you've really hit the nail on the head. But that gets me thinking, Manish. Season's greetings to you and your family and your team. Let me spin it the other way. But this is a money which has not seen correction, and Manish, as you, Ramdev, I know, bull market corrections can be lethal. Forget about a bear market. Even the bull market corrections can take out some of the best market participants. So at some point, considering that we haven't had any recent correction in this market or decent correction in this market, are we setting ourselves for some kind of disappointment, or do you think this bull market is really different and it can just go on without any correction like the US market has done?
Yes, Anuj. So first of all, a very happy Diwali to you, to my dear friend Ramdev and all his colleagues, to all my colleagues in the markets, investors, viewers, everyone. It's been really a fantastic year. And if I look back on last Diwali, when we were all worried about our health, even lives of family members, it's a very dramatic change from worrying about health to worrying about how much correction can be there in our wealth right now. So first of all, just thanks to God for what has happened, and the country's come out of this unscathed, and looking forward to better times. On your question on markets, So first of all, I just want to put in context that markets go through cycles where typically the stock market will take cognizance of the rate of change first. It's then followed by the corporate profit cycle, which peaks much later than the markets. And finally, inflation will, blow out, or interest rates will blow out, and that will cause, the final climax of the economy cycle, by which time the markets would have already, corrected. Given that we've just started this cycle last year, I think it's a bit too early to say that the market is peaking out, it's run ahead of itself. It's a normal economic expansion which is happening. And like in all new cycles, you started with both the central bank as well as the government unleashing whatever they could to revive the economy. So you have the lowest possible interest rates and the loosest possible fiscal stance that the country can have. So it's natural that the market's excited. If you also put in context the reforms which are going on, the way the corporate sector balance sheets have got cleaned up with the unprecedented gush of profits and money which has come in. So you take the largest business houses, the best performing stocks last year were from the Tata Group. Reliance, of course, has done very well. Jindal, Vedanta, Birla, you name the business house, animal spirits are back big time. Also, the new entrepreneurial energy which has come out in the IT space with the advent of private equity money, who themselves are making so much money that they are ready to reinvest back. So this whole economic cycle is in a way started. The government's balance sheet is looking better because tax collections are running ahead of themselves. We just saw GST at unprecedented, 1,30,000 crores a month. So all the signals are now there that the economic expansion is going to really gather pace. And as we have moved from a more unorganized to an organized sector benefiting, and industries have consolidated, the profit cycle that you will see in the listed companies and particularly the larger ones is going to be unbelievable.
Okay.
So I, for one, while you are always cautious about corrections in the market, I don't think it's right to say the bull market will end, we'll go to a bear market very quickly and people will get burned. And it's the nature of markets, as Ramdevji rightly said, that if 7 crore investors are in, all of them cannot by definition beat the market. Someone will win, someone will lose. It's the nature of capitalism. The good news is they are all youngsters, and it's better to make your losses at a young age than for oldies like us to make losses. And you live with it because you will live with that volatility. You'll come out a smarter and a better investor. And if you just stay the course, that's all I would say, that don't lose faith in equities. It's not a 3-month, 6-month game where you get in, get out. Stay the course. Over a period of time, you will make money. You cannot make what you made last year. You will see a correction this year. The market may not give you more than 10-15% return till next Diwali, but don't lose heart. Just find the right stocks. Buy what you think you understand. Buy a valuation which is sensible and have a time horizon which is correct. I think that's all one can say at this point.
Okay, but Ramdev, let's be clear about it and let's be honest about it. That's the risk, right? A lot of investment over the last 3 months has been about momentum chasing. A lot of people do not understand businesses, but they are making money, so they do not care. Whether it was, say, an IEX or an MCX or even IRCTC, the platform companies, some of the recent IPOs, a lot of people have made a lot of money. So do you think that some of these new age stocks will still continue to do well, or some of the old sectors which are beginning to make comebacks, say something like a real estate or something like PSU banks, do you think that will make a huge comeback, or this year will belong to them? Your thoughts?
Yeah, so Anuj, what we have seen is that markets have a way of churning, and see, every bull market has a epic center. There is one theme which is overbearing in the entire bull market. Like in 2000, it was all the tech companies. In 2008, it was not tech at all. It was all the infra and commodity companies. In 92, it was all the junk companies. So there is a way. I mean, what will be the story of this bull run? We don't know. I mean, only little later we'll come to know. Are these the digital companies like China and America have seen? That looks to be very high priority. That lots of digital companies will come, and they might be loss making right now, but in next 4-5 years, they could become seriously large profit-making companies. And the ones which will make profit, of course, they will go from the current listing, exorbitant listing, to even much higher levels. And where if by chance things don't work out for them, they're not able to make they're not able to turn around their business model, then obviously people will be disappointed and people incur losses, and the prices will at the end of it, the prices will go to where it should be. So, but then by that time you would have lived another 24, 36 months of this bull run, and meanwhile you would have seen some kind of a crazy spike. So that's what we have seen in last four bull runs. This is the fifth one, I would say, in my life. And what will drive this particular bull run? Is it going to be the credit cost and credit cycle, both sides, credit expansion and credit cost reduction? It could also be unprecedented for the banks, private as well as public, because they have gone through really serious cleaning up of the balance sheet and a serious decline in the credit growth. Now, as the economy picks up, can we see a say 15-17% credit expansion and credit cost reduction of another 15-17% every year, and that can expand the profitability to unprecedented level, and we can see a major rally in the financials. So we don't know. I mean, there can be a lot of stories in a well-performing economy. You cannot say what will do well. I mean, you have to be lucky to get on to be riding some companies whose earnings are going to be growing very rapidly, and they are available to you at reasonable prices. Now, only later on you'll come to know that where the market was completely irrational in terms of valuing them. So it is very tough to say what will happen. The irrationality which is visible today in some segments of the market, whether they become even more irrational or they will correct in some other segment which is not doing so well, that will come. We have to have our process and follow our process of buying and stick to your framework, and I think that is a way to go about it.
Okay, gentlemen, thanks. Thanks for starting us up. We need to take a break, but there are a lot of issues that I want to discuss. But we'll take a break and we'll come back and continue our conversation with Manish Chokhani and Ramdev Agarwal in a bit. Welcome back to the Samvat 2078 Market Master Special. I am in discussion with two titans of stock markets, Manish Chokhani and Ramdev Agarwal. Manish, the big money this year has been made in commodities. Is that a bit of a risk also for the market? I mean, in general, because we are commodity consuming companies. So two-part questions on commodity stocks. Do you see the gains continuing? And B, do you see inflation emerging as a bit of a risk for our market this year?
Yes, Anuj. So the answer to your question is, look, commodity stocks did very well because they were very, very depressed last year. If you think of how this bull market started, like everywhere else, number one, you get an important, money supply coming in from overseas, and the export boom which happened with IT services companies, textile companies, that whole China plus one strategy where supply chains were broken, and therefore a lot of commodity prices also took off. They started from very depressed levels, and therefore the returns have been, like you rightly said, 4x, 5x, 6x in number of companies over here, which is great. We still are actually very cheap commodity producers, and with the level of profit which has come, the multiples on these companies have naturally compressed to 3-4 times EV EBITDA. So they are not expensive. Question is, no one knows how long the supply shock continues and whether the prices for commodities will stay as elevated as they are. So there is certainly room for some caution on commodities because no one can predict. Certainly I didn't predict what will happen to steel prices or oil prices to this level. So given that it's a smaller part of your portfolio, I presume no one will have more than 10% exposure to commodities in their portfolio. It's okay, and I don't think it's going to fall off a cliff either. So that's part one. Part two, like you say, when an economic cycle starts, you do want a certain level of inflation, because then you get price increases and you get a higher level of profitability coming into your companies, which has indeed helped all these commodity players and other manufacturing companies to clean up their balance sheet. So we are all delevered and ready for the next cycle, as Ramdev was rightly saying. So just don't be worried because there is small inflation or a small rise in interest rates doesn't kill the economy. What kills you is when inflation goes out of hand or interest rates go out of hand. And by that I mean a 300-400 basis point rise in interest rates. So markets already pricing that we'll probably have 50 basis point increase in rates over 12 months. overseas, the Fed is already signaling it is going to start putting up rates. But until US rates go to say 4%, it's not like that economy is going to trip and tumble and collapse. Similarly in India, it's not that putting 50 basis points up is going to trip the economy. You will expect rates to go up gradually as the economic expansion happens, till it finally starts trying to cool down the economy, which is still some time away. So certainly approach the market with caution. As Ramdev said, there will be sector rotation. So what made you money last year may not be the same sectors this year. If you think in the prior years people were holding commodity consumption companies, FMCG or consumer discretionary, automobiles and so on, which didn't do anything last year. Going forward, it may well be, like he's rightly saying, the whole financial space, as rates go up, they are able to pass on the costs to their borrowers and they don't put up their cost of deposits quickly. So you will start seeing expansion over there. So different segments will take off. Like it happened with a hated space last year was real estate, which has done very well. It could very well be, like he was saying, PSUs, media, stuff like that, which no one loves right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So there is enough to do in an expansion. You will get rotation.
Oh, absolutely. And in a broad-based rally, everything makes money. Some, of course, make more money. Ramdev, one sector which has not seen any churning is IT. I mean, it's been perhaps the best, sectoral index, not just in India, worldwide. And a lot of mid-cap IT stocks in particular, Ramdev, now, 30 times is now being defined as the new normal. What is the market pricing in here?
So clearly IT, thanks to COVID worldwide, they have realized that work from anywhere and digitization of the entire business process is imminent. And hence the whole world wants to go to the cloud, go to the transformation, but execution has to be only at a pace, because people have not created capacity. For last 3-4 years, the recruitment has been very slow and in fact almost flat. So larger companies must have been building a little bit, but smaller companies have been literally deleveraging. So now suddenly the demand is coming across the world, and across the companies, small, mid, big, everybody is getting, there is a flurry of contracts. Now the issue is, where is the execution capability? So right now it is not about the marketing, it's all about the execution. So who can ramp up the capacity? And now you have the attrition of ranging from 10 to 15 to 25% types attrition. So, just to fill up, keeping the current capacity also, you need so many more people. So it's a people-driven business. So I think the execution is far slower than build up of the ambition of the entrepreneurs to digitize their processes. So my sense is the best is yet to come in terms of order build-up, the execution build-up, and profit build-up. So that will be a few quarters away, initially there will be this attrition and all, and then maybe the clients will be willing to pay more for the services. And so I think we are in a very sweet spot here, and a lot of companies are saying that it could be 3 to 5 year kind of a rally, and it is much bigger than Y2K boom. In Y2K boom, India went from $1 billion export to $5 billion export. Now in this run, we are going from 150 to maybe $300 billion of export. So this is a very large opportunity, and this can, again, it's a huge impact on the India's positioning, India's power, India's digital power. And now it is no more only exports. Even the domestic IT is also, and startups are looking very, very good. So I think this space is very attractive, and since it is asset light, and the margins are quite fancy in the sense that for the domestic operations, it could be 50-60% EBITDA margin. So I think we are going to see buoyant conditions in this sector.
Okay, now my director tells me that I have 1 minute left on the show, so I'll divide it 30 seconds for both of you. Manish, what's the reasonable expectation this year from equities, and what's the biggest risk factor?
Risk factor first, it always comes from abroad, that if something accident happens in the world, which is how this bull market started, it could end the whole period of euphoria as well around the world. So keep a watch out to what's happening elsewhere in the world. I don't think India is really a center of risk. And in terms of expectations this year, if you make 15% in the coming year, you should be very, very thankful. On your whole portfolio, I mean, individual stocks can do different things.
Oh, absolutely, 15% would beat most asset classes. Ramdev, same question to you. Reasonable expectation this year and the biggest risk factor?
I think, as Manish said, I think after a bumper year, we should have a low expectation, but market can surprise you. My sense is market will surprise you on the upside. And the risk is, to me, whatever factors I can see, the real risk is what you cannot see. But what amongst the what I can see is the inflation, global inflation, and correspondingly the global rate cycle. So that seems to be a big, that can spoil the party big time.
Okay, well, let's hope that that's not the case. But also at some point, some bit of correction perhaps would be healthy for the market, and expectations this year have to be muted. But as Ramdev said, markets can surprise, and who knows, this year can be an encore or even better. We'll find out, of course, 1 year from here. Who knew when we started this somewhat that we would be sitting in this kind of gains? Ramdev and Manish, thanks a lot for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And once again, from me and from everyone here at CNBC TV 18, happy Diwali and season's greetings to both of you.
Happy Diwali.